I just got back from teaching a lovely third grade class. It was so much fun. I mean, that wasn't sarcastic at all. They really were a lovely class. A little bit chatty, but third graders in general are pretty receptive to being kind and taking advice on how to be kind to each other. So anyway, it was a good day. But now I wanted to talk a little bit about being gluten-free, because about 17 years ago, I found out that I was allergic to gluten and dairy. I had suddenly gained about 60 pounds in 2 months. So up until then, I wasn't really slim, but I wasn't heavy either. I was just very average. And then all of a sudden, I just started gaining weight, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't lose it. I spent a year working out like a fiend. I was working out on a treadmill, running 2 to 5 miles a day, sometimes walking. I was swimming 2 to 3 times a week, and then I was working out with weights another 3 to 4 times a week. So I worked out 5 to 6 days a week, and in a year I only lost 4 pounds. And then I blew out my knee doing that walking thing, so I had to switch to just swimming, and I gained back 2 of the pounds. So I was very, very discouraged. And I was also on a 1,200 calorie diet for most of that time with very, very little sugar. So it was tough. And I just felt like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up going on a homeopathic HCG diet, and very, very strict diet, and you're taking drops that are homeopathic. And I lost 60 pounds during that time. But when I went to go back and add regular food to my diet, I had gone to a soccer party and I ended up eating pizza. And it was literally the most delicious pizza I've ever had in my life. It's from a place in Whittier called Mia Moore. So if you ever have the chance to go there, it's really good. But I never got to eat it again because I sat there and watched my legs and ankles swell before my very eyes. So obviously something in the pizza I was allergic to. So I went back on the HCG diet for just a short amount of time so I could figure out what I was allergic to. And it turned out it was gluten and dairy. Very, very obvious. Dairy would give me these little tiny bumps on my head that when I asked a doctor about them, she said, "Oh yeah, those are really gross. I don't know what that is." Super helpful of her. And turns out they were atypical hives, and then also migraines. And I would often get kind of a sore throat and stuffy. And it turns out that some of that was also from dairy. When I went off, a lot of that resolved. A ton of my migraines went away. I still had some, and I'll talk later about ways that I got rid of those. But the hives went away. I only get the hives if I eat something contaminated with dairy. And with the gluten, it was a little bit different. It was a lot more brain. So I would get very foggy brained, and then I would forget things in the middle of my sentence sometimes. I remember back at the worst of it, I would be talking and in the middle of my sentence just completely forget what I was saying. I was definitely one of those people that walked into a room and couldn't remember why I was there. But that was kind of my whole life because I have ADD too, so that's another story also. But I cut those things out of my diet, and those things very much improved. It took a while for my memory, but I could literally feel my brain kind of healing from all of the damage I'd done from eating things that I was allergic to all that time. But back 17 years ago, it was very hard to find gluten-free things that were remotely delicious. Everything was kind of crumbly and hard or heavy and did not taste very good, and it had a lot of additives in order to even taste decent. So it was not necessarily good for you, even though it was gluten and dairy free. So a lot of times people go on gluten-free diets for health reasons, and then they eat snacks and things that are gluten-free, but they do not have healthy ingredients. This particular thing, not totally free of all things that are not good for you, but it's pretty good. And that is the Made Good Crispy Squares Vanilla. No, I tried the strawberry and I tried other ones, and they weren't as good to me because these taste a lot like Rice Krispie treats, which I really missed. And it's hard to get because they have butter in them. And you can make them yourself, but again, that's a whole lot of work. And my kids can eat regular ones, well, except for my daughter who's also allergic to dairy, but so they're not going to want to eat my dairy-free ones because they're not going to be as good. But these, really good. And on top of that, they have some vitamin D and some other things in them that are pretty good. They look like this, and they're really great for me because they're small enough that I can take as a snack for work without having too much sugar, because having sugar can kind of throw off your balance throughout the day. So it's pretty low in that. Where does it say? The total fat is 1%, the calories are 80. It's got, well, 18 grams of total carbohydrates, which isn't the best. Your total sugars are 7 grams, but it does have fiber, 1 gram of fiber. It has vitamin D. It has protein, 1 gram of protein, which you're not going to find in most Rice Krispie treats, even if you make them yourself. Has 10 milligrams of potassium, vitamin E, thiamine, and a little bit of iron. So if you want a healthy snack, or healthy-ish, then go ahead and order some of these. You can try them, and then if you think that you like them, you can try the strawberry ones or something too. But I will talk more about being gluten-free and also more about ADHD a little bit later. Bye.